What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Farinho Talks Milan. This time, however, it will be a little different. I will not be following the usual format of doing these videos. Instead, I'm just going to give you my thoughts point by point. Um, I am frustrated. A lot of us fans are after tonight, and I'm going to blow a fuse if I have to go through every single player and what they did and didn't do. Um, so yeah, this episode, I'll just be off the top of my head giving you what I think. Um, it was unfortunate, the result. It was the worst possible result after going to Roma and performing so well. Udinese will always play this way. If if you've watched Serie A for long enough, you understand that this is how this team plays. I think they drew against Inter, they drew against Atalanta, and this is their style of play. They frustrate the opponents, they give them very little space in behind. They tend to sit back against bigger teams. And they came and they did that and executed it perfectly. Um, the game did end up 1-1. I don't think Milan deserved a goal. Of course, the penalty decision, no one can argue with that. It was a penalty. Kessie, as usual, is so reliable from the spot. It's almost like he feels no pressure, and he's just turned into such an incredible player for Milan. I don't think we'd be in this position we are without him. He's my pick for Milan's best player of the season so far, next to Donnarumma, which leads me to that point. Donnarumma, Romagnoli, Theo Hernandez for Udinese's goal, for Rodrigo Beccao's goal. They were all poor. Romagnoli was beaten in the air, Theo Hernandez as well. Neither of them could prevent the header from going towards goal. And then, of course, Donnarumma, I don't know what he did. He tried to stop it with his foot and then stop it with his hand, and the ball ended up going underneath him. He may have anticipated a touch on the ball. It may have wrong footed him and he couldn't get down quick enough. Um, but yeah, outside of that, I don't think Milan were in trouble at all. Udinese were happy with the draw. You could see that from the very first minute where they were playing in rows of five. Of course, their back three becomes five when you are parking the bus or using a low block, um, as I've learned today. But yeah, Milan dominated the first half. They had most of the possession, but a lot of it was toothless possession. There was no incisive passes. The wingers were hugging the touchline, specifically Castillejo. He provided nothing. I can't recall him putting a cross into the box. He did, however, try to take on a few defenders, but that was just 10 seconds of football in an entire 90. Similarly with Rebic, he wasn't getting anywhere. He was trying to drop closer to the halfway line, trying to play 1-2s, but it's difficult to break through so many walls. And that is unfortunately what Udinese did. They made it impossible for Milan to move the ball quickly. Um, and Rafael Leao was disappointing. He's been disappointing for the past 2 months. He was injured. I think he had an ankle injury, and he really hasn't gotten back to his form prior to that. And it's just the lack of effort that frustrates me. You have Rebic, uh, Brian Diaz, and even Castillejo who were trying to get involved, trying to move, and then you get Rafael Leao who was content with sitting in between the two centre backs. Of course, he's never going to cause any harm there. The balls into the box are not good enough. He's not going to out jump Becao. Um, he's really not a physical threat, and you would expect him to drop back to try and receive the ball, to try and move Udinese out of out of their settled position, and he did none of that. So I think him along with Theo Hernandez um, are probably the worst players on that field. Castillejo, he's a very limited player, but at least he tried. He could have scored a goal. He didn't. You don't get points for that. But Leao was costly on one end. Theo Hernandez was potentially costly on the other end. And it took fantastic awareness from Alessio Romagnoli, who obviously is back in the starting lineup. Tomori was rested. And he did well to recover that. Theo Hernandez played a really poor back pass straight into the path of the Udinese attacker. And Romagnoli read the danger. He ran to the goal line. And once the ball got played over the top to the striker, he took the shot on, and Romagnoli cleared it off the line. That was a vital, vital moment for Milan. Um, and again, he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player at all. His technical aspects of his game are never in question. It's just his pace and his ability to perform the role and in the formation that Milan employ. Um, but he did well. I think a lot of the other players did well. Calabria came on. Kalulu was good. Simon Kjær was good. Kessie and Tonali in midfield were good. I think Tonali went off injured, so bringing Meite on was forced. And I will give credit to Meite. He did his job very well. He forced a save from Musso. I think one of like four saves, three saves. I'm not too sure how many shots Milan actually had on target. Um, but yeah, it was from the forward unit. It was really disappointing. I don't know why Pioli took Brahim Diaz off. He was trying to get involved, in the second half. Um, the game was a lot more open. Udinese looked like they were at least trying to get a goal. And you need a player with his qualities, the ability to dribble, the ability to really work with small pockets of space. And Pioli decided to give him the hook. And it's made even more frustrating because the guys on the wing are not doing anything. Brian Diaz got a shot off in the first half with after a quick dribble on the edge of the box, and of course the goalkeeper saved it. But he's that type of player who can spark something. So that to me was really frustrating. I think it might. I think it might be wise at this stage if you are still expecting Milan to compete for the Scudetto, to just tame that expectation. Um, Milan are going. I think they are going to Verona next, who like to play a similar type of football, and it's going to be difficult. You also then go to Old Trafford after that, and then Napoli after that. So it's going to be difficult, and Roma managed to win tonight, so there's even more pressure. And if Milan didn't get a goal, Juventus, if they win a game in hand, would be joint second, and I think first if they have a superior goal difference. So yeah, it was a bit of a disaster tonight. I know a lot of the fans didn't even bother to watch the second half. Frankly, I don't blame you. Um, it was just a really frustrating game to see Milan hold all the cards and really not deliver clinical football. Um, try and get into good spaces, try and play the ball into the box, try and move into space, help your teammates out. And you can say Zlatan out injured, Mandzukic is out injured, who I think would have fit this game a lot better as a target man than Leao. Hakan is injured, but he's been off for. And it was really just a toothless display. And in the second half, in my opinion, it was even worse because Milan couldn't even string together passes. At the very end, Leao pinched the ball off Salamakers as he was about to strike it. You don't know what will come of that, but another potentially costly mistake. But I'm not going to drone on about it too much. The game is done. and thankfully Milan managed to scrape a 1-1 draw. That is a vital point. It keeps us 1 point ahead of Juventus, of course, if they win the game in hand. And really just hats off to Kessie for saving us a wealth of embarrassment. Not that we all don't already know that it was embarrassing. Um, of course, rival fans are going to have a field day, and they're entitled to. That's how it works. It's fun. Banter is fun. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the response from this group. It's annoying when you go from playing the way you did against Roma, throwing caution to the wind, creating 5 chances in 6 minutes, or 3 chances in 5 minutes, and then you create 2 chances in like 38 minutes against Udinese. I mean, come on, come on. You expect so much better from a team who are second in Serie A. Yes, give credit to Udinese. They played a near perfect game. It was 99% perfect, and that 1% was Strider Larsson's really inexplicable handball. Um, yeah, but we'll take the draw. I'm looking forward to the response against Verona. Just to put a disclaimer, I do not care about the Manchester United game one bit. I've said that since the start. Milan do not have the depth to compete on both fronts. So it's really going to be, it's crunch time for Pioli now to make a decision, and whether it's, going all out for the Manchester United game, or really trying to play a mixed squad, some of your starters, some squad players, because he knows that a vital game against Napoli awaits on the weekend. I believe it's on the weekend. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. The end of the Serie A title race is really going to be interesting. The race for top four is going to be interesting. This is just a blip in the road. Um, Milan will respond. I think they're still definitely on course for finishing in a Champions League spot. They can still finish second, and Pioli needs to wake up. I think it can't be stressed enough that these last 2 months have not been kind to him. Um, he's been shown up a good few times now. Uh, Sometimes with teams like Juve, Atalanta, Inter Milan, who have better personnel, on paper. Um, Antonio Conte is a better coach, but he's also really been shown up by Udinese now, by potentially Bologna. That they could have equalized and made it 2-2, but Milan got the win there. He was shown up by Spezia, Red Star, and it's piling up. And the optimism Milan fans had, at the end of the Lazio game last year, I think that's completely died out, and a lot of us are really hit with the realistic side of football now. The squad has overachieved. I still believe they can play at a higher level than they've shown. Now they can play like they did against Roma. I mean, 4 days ago they played so well. Yes, Zlatan was there. Um, but yeah, it's another frustrating video. And let me know if you like this style, this more conversation, one take style of doing a video instead of a more organized talking points. I think this way I'm also a lot more honest in the way I critique a game, which give a match review. Um, and it's just like it allows me to just indulge my thought processes a little bit. So yeah, let me know what you think of the new format, and thank you all for supporting my work. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, and it's a passion project. I love this club. I've wanted to do this for a while, and your kind comments, your likes, those who share, those who engage and interact with me, It's very important to me, and it keeps the motivation going. Um, I would love at the later stage to actually do a podcast where I can sit and talk about the game with a guest. So we'll see how that goes, maybe in the near future. Yeah, if you enjoy my content, like, share, and subscribe. I mean, I say it every video. Farinho underscore 10 on Twitter. And if you are here, if you like my content, please share it. You know, um, but yeah, I appreciate all of you, and I mean all of you. My little cousin in Port Elizabeth, he made a YouTube account essentially to subscribe to my channel. So yeah, that's very heartening, and it makes me smile. And lastly, Forza Milan.